All right, so I screwed that up. I accidentally went live in somewhere else. Let me see about sharing this thing. Just give it another minute or two. I think we're all. All right, that seems better. All right, so we should be good. This works. Okay. So let's get started. So this is the first one that we're going to be doing live from the desktop. So bear with me because I'm still trying to figure this stuff out. I'm also going to be, hopefully next time around, we're going to be doing this on Zoom as well. So that way it can be a little bit more interactive than basically me talking and then you guys just going for the comments. So tonight's plan is to go over Google My Business. So not sure who's on with me at this point, but if there's something else that you would like me to discuss, I can definitely go over that as well. But at this point, what I'm going to do is we're going to start going over live stream or the screen share. So then we can start doing that kind of stuff. So hopefully the person that's on here, can you let me know if you actually can see this, the screen that I'm on now? And then I'll check back in a second. Okay, awesome. All right, so yeah, I don't know how to get this set up so I can see. I got to figure out how to do chats and all that kind of stuff at the same time. Let's see if I can get it from my phone. So we're gonna go over this. So John, since you are here, what kind of stuff are you looking for Google My Business? I know we have the call scheduled tomorrow, but I can go over some of that stuff tonight as well. And while you're typing that, I'm just going through and then entering, seeing if I can get this thing online. He's trying to rank higher. Okay. So what I'll do, I actually have a new person I was just starting to work with to go over that. I can't really see the comments. So I'll just go back and forth here and there. Next time around, I'll figure this thing out. I thought it would just be all there, but that's not the case. So actually, let me go back into here. Actually, let me show you what results are possible. So this is just for the last, I'll just go over some of the stuff. Actually, let's go on the info first. So what I was seeing, or actually, no, let's go on the insights. So I'll show you what's kind of possible for now, and then I'll go in and show you what someone else has set up and how we can basically fix that stuff. So basically for the month, we're doing pretty well. There's total 4,400 searches this month as far as what people are doing, how they're finding us. So, as far as search. So the way that is, let me go on here. So basically they type in, Penn's company near me. And then, so basically in search results is basically going to be underneath the map section. It's going to be in this area here. Okay. And then in the map section, it's going to be here. Your map section is going to look a little bit different just because I do have some other extensions put on the Chrome. Oops. So that's why you're going to see extra stuff here. You won't see that. Everything looks the same except for you won't see like the basic audit, review audit, post audit. So this is what you have here. Obviously, the higher that you're ranked, the better. And then also we need to look at the number of reviews. Number of reviews is going to be extremely important as well, just as important. And I've talked about this in other videos. So the way to look at this stuff is, oh, you can see me anyway. I forgot about that. So the way to look at this stuff is you got to think about Google, right? So Google is, they're trying to do the best service for their customers. So their customers are not, the contractors, they're not people paying for the ads. That's not it. It's the people that are searching for fence companies, the people that are actually using the search results. Because what's happening is if they basically, someone's searching in Google and they're looking for a fence company and they have a poor experience and they're telling everyone about it and they found them on Google and this and that, well, then those other customers aren't likely to use Google. They'll end up going to like Angie's List and stuff like that, or Nextdoor, Facebook, whatever, right? So they want to basically show the contractors that have the best reviews, that look like they're actually a legit company. They're also going to look at the, the people that are going into the Google My Business listings. They're seeing if there's any kind of conversions or actions being taken. They're looking at the time that you're on your page. They're looking at, are they calling? Are they filling out contact forms? Like how many pages they go to and that kind of thing. Because what happens is if they see, out of these three options right here, if, right now I'm at the top, and that's because honestly, I'm in Deptford. So like, if I'm not showing up first, like that's a problem because I'm right there, right? So what ends up happening is just say the people start, they're probably going to click on the three people, right? But if they go to my website, but they don't take any action, they don't do anything, they just go there and then they bounce out in like 10 seconds. And as opposed to like maybe Ace Fencing, maybe they're there for a minute or two, and then American Discount, maybe they're there for like 5 minutes because they're looking at blog articles and stuff like that. And then they either fill the contact form and call. Well, if this happens frequently, not just one time, but if it's happened 50, 60, 100 times a week, well, what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing American Discount start going up. And then if that trend continues, they're going to overtake me, especially since these guys, Runnymede is right next to Deptford. So it's like literally within like 2 minutes outside of town. It's the next town over. Blackwood, on the other hand, is different. So Blackwood is probably like 10 minutes away, right? So we have that. So that's what you got to look at. So that's where you got to look at your website and one, make sure it works, and then make sure it's loading properly, things like that. That's the other thing that Google's looking at is how fast your website is loading. Now, mine's loading slower now because I have a program called Hotjar being that's installed and running that basically shows me what people are doing on the website. The reason why I had that installed, and I'll show you. So we have my regular website, which I had another company do. And the only reason I had them do is just because I didn't feel like doing it. Honestly, I could have made this in a not long, but it is what it is. This part you won't typically see. It's just because I'm logged in somewhere else. So you wouldn't see this. So it'd just be down here. But what you're going to see, and the reason why this doesn't convert that well, is because there's too much stuff that they could possibly do. You got all the buttons up here. So, people are going to go to the pricing page, that kind of thing. Click the free estimate or get started, view portfolio. They're going to scroll down, look at some of the stuff. Now they can click on this stuff. They can click here and there's all learn about us, view our complete process. So if you look, there is a ton of different things that these people can do, right? And John, I know you were looking specifically for Google My Business, but this is everything ties in together, right? So what we have here is, okay, they can get a free estimate, they can call, they can go to pricing, they can figure about us and process and reviews and blog and FAQs and portfolio and services, right? So there's like 8 things right there. Then we have to get started, the view our portfolio, right? So that's 10 things. You got this, that's more the same. This is the 11th thing, another complete process, some pictures, portfolio, that's another thing, 12 things. Then you got all the videos and stuff like that and free estimate. Okay, so there's like 12 different actions that these people can take. And that's too much, right? And so this actually goes into, so John, I don't know if anyone, so you're the only one on here. So it's at this point, even if you get all these leads coming in, if you have all these people going to your website, they also need to take action, right? So the way I look at everything is I have the website and it's built for SEO. It's built so I can show up more often, right? So that's where we have all the different, when people are typing in vinyl fence installation and that kind of stuff. But then when you get into it, and then we have like the stuff I'm currently building out, but like we have the, oh, I didn't throw it on here. I got to throw the location page on here I've been working on so we can show up more often for that kind of stuff. But there's just too much to do. So what you really should do for driving traffic is you want to get them to a landing page. So whether it's going to be from Facebook, it's going to be from Google Ads, Google My Business, anything like that, it's going to go. Let me go in here. They're always going to a landing page, okay, every single time. So this one, in this case, it's stepforfence.com/landing page. I'm currently building out custom landing pages for every single one. So there's going to be a landing page for Google My Business, for Facebook, Google Ads, Nextdoor, like Craigslist, any of those. So that way I know where these sources of customers are coming from. Because I've spent a lot of money on Google Ads. Like last year, between Google Ads, Facebook Ads, and some other things, we spent like $90,000. And I didn't have it tracked well enough, so I don't know exactly where the stuff's coming from. But based upon like what I'm looking at, it's Google My Business because of the amount of traffic coming up. And then we'll go over this UTM code here. That's in a different topic. But so going here. So here's a landing page, okay? A landing page does not let the customer do anything else except for what you want them to do, okay? So there's again, this stuff that up here, they don't see. That's just because I'm logged into my account on another tab. Obviously, I got like 43 up. But here's the thing, see your price. Go down here, see the difference. So this is different where it shows here because we're trying to go after, we're getting a ton of contractors. So obviously our pricing is always higher, but like now with these contractors, like the pricing we see is absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, see your price, you get the idea. Everything is see your price. And, we had it, I'll probably end up taking this financing out because no one is using it anyway, like 5 people a year. But what I tried, and this is where you should really test the different things that you're doing, but see your price works a hell of a lot better than get your price, because get your price sounds like effort, right? Getting something, you have to go and actually go do something. See your price, you just look and it's there, right? So that's why we have that. Then we go to here. So see your price in just a few minutes, right? This I'm going to be working on, but basically we give them 3 options. Okay. I am adding another option where they can call us directly, but we have the online price tool, which is the My Salesman tool, which we're working on a program to get away from My Salesman just because it's too, it works kind of well, kind of not well. Like, John, do you price by foot or do you actually work out your actual pricing, like per panel and post and like all that kind of stuff? While you're doing that, I'll go through. But anyway, so My Salesman, we're redoing a program that I built before, and just to take over that, just because I don't like it. But anyway, they can schedule a call. So this is where they go to Calendly, or they do a quick measure. So that way we can get them to actually send us a drawing. Okay. So like I said, My Salesman, Calendly, it literally just goes to here, and then they can schedule it. And then they have the different things that they're doing. Okay. Once it goes into peak season, probably in about 2 weeks or so, we'll end up switching this out, and basically we'll have it where it'll be very bright and bold on this side about any kind of repair. Okay. And we'll also do, we won't even give them the option we're not going to look at them if it's a repair. The reason for it is we just don't do it in the wintertime. We're going to do as a quick, okay. Yeah. So same thing. And I'll show you the process that we do as well. But yeah, I just don't like the per foot, because especially if it's under like 150 feet, it's never right. And then people are pissed off when they talk to us. So it's just like a waste of our time. So we got that. And then the house, the quick measure. So if you notice on this, there's always like 3 steps, right? The whole thing. And I know we're doing Google My Business, but this will help you with your landing pages, because John and whoever else is on here, the landing page will make or break you by far. Because you could have like literally 5,000 people, a month going to your site. But if you're not converting any of them, then it's just a waste of time. I've learned that just because we do my own Google ads, stuff like that, where I literally, when I switched on this site, I had another landing page we used to use, but I turned it off just because we went to the new site. And I spent like $300 without a lead. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I used to get these things for like 15 and 20 bucks a piece. In the wintertime, it's always a little bit harder. The price does go up because people aren't as motivated. The nice part is the people that actually do the contact forms and stuff like that in the wintertime, they're more, those are like the proactive people. So even though we're not going to book their job right away, like they'll probably end up going in the next 3-4 weeks. So we do this. And then basically I gave them, I got to redo this because I just realized when I click on it, it has this. But basically they can print this out. And then I just wanted to show them how simple it is, right? So they just basically put the measurements in, wood, vinyl, whatever, privacy picket, height, color, and that kind of thing. This we actually are going to be redoing as well. That'll have more of like a contact form feel to it and make it easier. But anyway, so we have that. Next part, okay, that we already covered. All right, so we got that. And so anyway, that's the landing page. And like I said, the difference is huge on the analytics. If anyone's tried John, have you tried messing with your analytics at this point? Like it's just a mess what you have to do with this crap. You're trying to figure out where these people are coming from, who's converting, and like that kind of thing. If this is, are you even interested in it? Because you're literally the only one here. So you tell me if you even want to watch this, or I'll go right into more of the Google My Business stuff. Oh, for the analyst, it's such a joke. It's ridiculous. I have a guy that does all this stuff for me as far as for setting up the conversion tracking and that kind of thing. So he has to constantly show me. But the easiest way to do it is you click on acquisition, all traffic, source and medium. Okay. So now this breaks down everything on the side where everything's coming from. So if it's Google, CPC is cost per click. So those are your like Google ads. Direct and none, that's if they literally just type in deptfordfence.com. Though I'm seeing a ton of traffic, so I'm talking to my guy, like, I don't know why this is the way it is, just to be honest with you. Yeah, organic, GMB, this is just Google My Business, which I just set up, but then I had to change it over to this, so it didn't show in the organic side. I just want to Google My Business by itself. And what do we have to set up for the last? We can just do today. So you can see today we had a total of 60 people. 50 of them were new people. So 10 people are returning users. Okay. So you see here, cost per click is 26. Direct. And again, I have to figure this out because I don't know why there's so many people. There's not this many people just typing in deptfordfence.com. They're just not. Google My Business, there's 7. Now, what you want to do is look at your conversion. So if you don't have this set up, if you don't know if you're set up correctly or not, I can give you my guy's name. I'm not affiliated with him, but he just does what he's supposed to do. He's awesome. He's not that cheap, but he's not that expensive either. Might cost you a few $100 to get it sorted. But what you'll see here is today, for goal completions, we had a total of 3 conversions for cost per click or Google Ads, and then we had 4 people that were direct. Okay. Which is, it's pretty good. Typically what I hear is like 10 to 15%, 15% is on the very high end. So some are doing good, some not so good, but anyway. Okay. So anyway, going back to Google. So what you want to do first of all is the number one thing is what I found. And actually they just did an update in like January, which they got away from the keywords in the title. So people used to like stuff all these kinds of keywords in there, like Deptford Fence Company, vinyl fence, cedar fence, aluminum fence. Like they would just do that so they could rank, but Google got away with that or away from that. But you want to make sure like it says fence company. The reason why you want fence company is because people are typing in fence company near me. Okay, so you want that in there. They might have lost some of the rankings, with the latest update, but this is still going to help you a little bit. So that's number one. Get that in there if you don't have company. If you're just starting out and you're watching this, no one else is watching this, but if on a replay, if you are just starting your company, you want to do keyword research to find out what people are searching for in your area. Like I'm in South Jersey. If it wasn't already taken, I would have taken southjerseyfence.com or South Jersey Fence Company. And that's because people are already searching for it. It's already in the keyword, the headline and everything else, you'll show up for more. The other company, they don't like, I think they just updated their site, but it was horrible before and they're still ranking for a ton of stuff just because of their name. The next part is the address. So some people, you basically have two options. One, you put an address if people can physically go to your address. So if you're working out of your house, you don't want to put your house address because I've seen it where people are navigating and they're going to go to your house. Like that's not what you want. When I first started, so I could have an actual location address, I end up using a PO box at my post office. But since then, they've really they've got away from that. So you can't trick them too much anymore. If you're trying to get around that, then you basically have to get someone on Facebook or something like that to give them money and then they'll give you an address. But anyway, so this helps you a little bit more, but it's not 100% necessary. The next thing is for the service areas, right? So this other company that I'm going to be helping out, this Advantage Pro Wash, if you notice, they're suspended. The reason why they're suspended is because originally when I got into it, they were set up, the service area was the entire United States, right? And as soon as I changed it to their county, then it suspended them. So they have to deal with that. So hopefully they'll get that taken care of shortly. But basically if you're just starting out, and so I don't know your rankings at this point, but what I'll end up doing is like when I research your stuff, I have to see how you're ranking first of all, because I know you're down in Florida and it's crazy down there. A lot of different companies, obviously construction and everything else is just going bonkers because of COVID. And everyone just wants, like, I'll probably be down there at some point too. Either there, or Puerto Rico, or Hawaii. Probably by 2024, I would think. Yeah, this year we're getting everything situated. Next year I'll have someone to run the business. And then once they're good to go, then we'll probably move. But anyway, I have to see what you're set up for, but basically you want to set up typically by county. Some people put all these different, the towns and stuff like that, but it's easier just to do by county. So that's what I would personally do. Now, if you're just starting out, typically like I did for this guy, is if you're just starting out and you have no ranking, no nothing whatsoever, which he didn't have anything. Like if you see here, because it's suspended. He only had, he gets like 44 visits, or impressions, where you see I had like 4,000. So if you're just starting out, you want to do just by the one county. Just go where immediate area. And then once you start ranking for that, then you can expand that. The other thing that you'll see here is the open 24 hours. So now in Google's mind, right, you have, and this is why they got suspended, is in their mind, they have a power washing company that's not like known whatsoever. It's supposedly going to service the entire United States. It has that they are open 24 hours a day, except for Sundays, they're closed, right? What else? They have this one date in here, whereas you should be putting your holidays and like that kind of thing, right? And I forget what else. Oh, they didn't have like citations, which we'll go over as well. But they didn't have anything. So that's why they did that. So anyway, going into, Google, like you want to update the stuff for what you actually do. You're not going to show up more often if you have it for 24 hours. You want to put what you're actually open for. Because again, remember that Google is trying to protect their customers. And if they are trying to call and stuff like that, not that they're going to report you to Google, but like you're not providing the best customer service. Because if you put, instead of 24 hours, if you put like, and people know that's not going to be correct, but if you put that you're open from like 8 to 8 and you're not answering your phone after 6 o'clock, well, you're not providing a good experience for that customer, right? Phone number. You want to make sure you have a correct phone number, obviously. You also want to make sure that, and we'll go over citations in a little bit. The other thing, so next is services, right? Oh, and website as well. If you don't have a website already, if you're just starting out, then Google has where you can build your own website here. I personally don't use it, but that's what you can use for that. And then what else? Services. You don't want to list a million different things, right? So if you were a fence, so John, you're a fence company. Just say you do fences, you could do decks, you could do power washing, you could do staining, you could do painting, like all of this. Like if people that are just starting out that are a fence company, but they're not big enough and they're not getting enough leads, so they basically have the motto I had like 4 years ago, which was like, if you have the money, I'll do the job. Then like they're more of a handyman at that point, right? You don't want to list all your services. What you want to do is just list the main thing you want to rank for, which would be the fence company itself, right? In this case, like he has the pressure washing. Some of this stuff, like his is going to be a little bit more to deal with just because there's so many different things that are related to what he does. But as a fence company, you should only really have as a fence company. If you want to list other things, then you can put the services in there. Where are we at? Okay. Let me go back into his. Let's see what else is messed up. Attributes. This you could set up as well, the attributes. So like we have in ours, attributes. Oh, we had more in here. I don't know. Oh, we have it as woman owned. Obviously, I'm the owner, but I'm not allowed to be involved. So I'm not allowed to answer the phone calls, the emails. I'm not like rarely am I able to go out to quote stuff like that. So we have it as women owned, and we actually, if believe it or not, we've actually gotten some business from that. So just because of that, and the reason for that is if you can put it great. Same thing with veteran owned, same thing, or Latino owned, Black owned. If that any of that pertains to you, that's going to be helpful. Because people are looking for that, right? Because at the end of the day, people want to buy from people that they know, like, and trust, right? So if you're if you're a woman and you're afraid of getting taken advantage of, well, if you go and see that's a women-owned company, and literally anyone that answers the phone is a woman, they're going to be more at ease. So that's something that can help you out as well. The accessibility, like we don't have to really do anything with this because we only have a warehouse at this point. We're working on getting a location where we can have the office there as well. Right now we work out of we have converted our basement into an office at this point. So you have that. And then you can get into health and safety. It's important to update this stuff because the more that you're updating this stuff, the more likely that Google thinks that you're open, active, and that kind of thing. So they're going to show you more often. And they do tell you that. It does. I don't know if it says it up here. Oh, look at this. Update your profile. No, it's not there. There's normally a thing that shows up here. They switched it out because they want you to use the off of the search bar. Basically, they'll tell you that the more often that you're updated, the more likely you're going to show up in the search results. Because same thing, if you're not open or you went out of business, like they're afraid of showing your listing because again, you're not providing the best value to those customers. Was I in the process of building the WordPress site with Elementor trying to get my citations correct to where I had someone help me on Fiverr? Any suggestions on citations? So yeah, you can do it one of two ways. Citations are important. So John, this is something that you would need to do as well. I just started using Bright Local. They're not bad. So J Power Wash. So what is, I guess, why corrected where I had someone help me on Fiverr? Did they put like the wrong stuff or what happened there that you have to like basically redo it? And while we're waiting for that response, I'll go into this. So you don't have to use Bright Local. What we have here. They have a thing. So if you end up signing with me to do this, I use them for citations. It's just because it's built in. It's just easier to keep everything together. Oops, citation tracker. So what you can see here, and some of this stuff is still getting corrected. And sometimes I don't even know why. And I put to update this stuff, so I'm waiting for it to go through, but it's still taking, it could take a few days, few weeks, or even a few months, depending on which one it is. But basically what citations do, if you don't have any set up, and so John, when we talk, like I can get your information and put it in here and see what happens. It'll show, but basically citations are other businesses that basically are showing your information. So you have like Facebook, Bing, Yelp, like that kind of thing. What you want to do is to have every single listing have the same information, every single one. So this 5790004, that's an old number where we switched everything over to this 5884. The reason why we did that is because this number is not being tracked. We use Twilio. And the reason why we use Twilio is because we have a million different phone numbers. Like I'll use different phone numbers for the landing pages and stuff like that. So we can actually track where these leads are coming from. And what I mean by that is like when all the calls come in, like if you see here, this first column, this is where the people are coming from. So this is why it's important to find out where your leads are coming from. Because we need to know, like when you're spending money, you need to know if it's actually producing results or not, right? And if you look on this stuff, like the Lydia, Maria Direct, Michelle, like that's whenever we had actually talked to someone first and then we gave them our direct number and then they called that directly. But you can see here we have my salesman again. So I have a different number set up for my salesman as well. So that way when people go through the process, they can call that. So I can see where we like what's happening, right? For this, there is 2 columns, and Twilio can track this kind of stuff for you. Or you can use CallRail. CallRail is the user-friendly method. Twilio is for more developer side of things. CallRail is very easy to use, but it's much more expensive, especially when you're doing call recordings like we do. But anyway, it'll show you where they first came from. So the source is where they originally came from, and if whatever number they used the second time. So like Maria Direct. So Safari phone number. So they called us first time on Safari, and then afterwards they talked to Maria. So then they just called her direct, if that makes sense. I'm on extra comment. I just showed that. So afterwards, just watch, but it's real quick. This will be, I think, uploaded afterwards. If not, I'll figure out a way to upload it. But the attributes, here. So from the business, okay, you would click on that, and then you'd have everything. I would just go down the line and list everything. So women owns one of the top ones, so you would do that. The next one's about the accessibility for your location, if you have a location and all that. So go down, mark whatever applies to you. Do not mark something if it does not apply to you, especially if you put that you're like veteran owned when you're not really veteran owned. Like that's going to be a huge problem. Not from Google's standpoint, from your customer, right? If they feel like they've been lied to. Bright Local, I seen you using them and signed up. Oh, Bright Local. Yeah, it's pretty good. Like you can actually, John, so when you do this is, there should be a report, every report you basically run. And then I just started using this not too long ago, so I can't, download PDF. So you can actually download this and send it to me so we can see what you're looking like. But anyway, the whole goal of this, going back to the citations, is that they want the same information, because every place that does it and has the same information, it's just adding more credibility that you're a real business. Because at this point, there's so many listings on Google My Business that are not legit listings. And it's happening more and more now, because that's one of the things that like everyone wants to be a marketer now. And so be careful with marketers, because the problem now, everything's so easy to get into, and they have all these pitch decks and everything else, so they can make it sound really convincing. But basically they watched a course, they paid for a course that was like $200-300, and then they are now experts. So be careful on that. But anyway, so this will have, you want everything to be the same. Before, I had different numbers listed for Facebook, for Google, and all that kind of stuff. And it ends up hurting your scores. So I just updated most everything. And at this point, I'm waiting for it to, most of it updated, but I'm still waiting some more. Going back, was there anything else? That was it, right? Yeah, okay. So that's what you would use for that. And then also, so the number one thing that you want to use is the local search grid. This will show you how you're ranking. So this is my latest one. which is kind of pissing me off that I went from an average of 8 to 8.2. The reason why my ranking is an 8.2 is because if you notice, like this is the entire, like this is whole South Jersey, right? This is a big, big area. Like typically you are not ranking for all this stuff. It just doesn't happen. So obviously green's good, orange not so good, red's bad. In my opinion, honestly, green is good, everything else is bad. The reason why I say that is because you got to think about like a customer. So same thing going back to this. You have your ads up here. So it's people that pay. Like here's mine right here. This is not I pay for. If you notice, just going into ads real quick, if you notice this company up here has extra things listed. The reason why it's not always guaranteed that you're going to have all your stuff listed, but you have to make sure you put that in your Google ads. That's something else that will go over because that's super important. Because there's a lot of marketers out there that will promise you the world, but especially with Google ads, there is a big learning curve. And if it's someone that's new and they're just running traffic to your homepage and stuff like that, like if you have a marketing company and they're running ads to your landing to your homepage, fire them, like point blank. It doesn't work. And I'll show you results in the analytics again. So anyway, you have that, you have this, we have a fence buying guide. This I have to switch out because it's really not converting that well and people don't really care. But anyway, this is what Bright Local's looking at and all the other those search grids are looking at. It does not include the ad up here, right? It only includes the organic listings, right? So as a customer, if they call these three companies and, you know, they call my company and of course we're awesome, so they're just going to use us, not really. But if they get the answer that they're looking for and they hire a company, there's no reason to go look at the other four, right? The only time they would look at the other four is if people aren't answering or if all the reviews are really crappy, like something like that, typically. And that may not be, you know, and people may look, but just knowing me, like I want, you know, immediate. You want to be on the first page always, right? And then basically anyone in forward, then you have to click this. And then now they're adding 2 ads here, which is kind of crazy, but it is what it is. So then fourth, I just zoomed out, but basically, you know, you would end up being like down there, which is not great. But again, speaking of which, if we go back into here, I know I talked about reviews a little bit, but reviews are super, super important because again, it's one, the more reviews that you have, the better in their mind. But even more importantly, it's for your customer, right? So the more reviews you have, think of like when you go shopping on Amazon. If there's 2 products that are the same, right? But one has like 14 reviews and it's like a 3.9, and then the other one has 150 reviews for a 4.8. Even though the other one's like 20% more, like you're gonna end up buying the one that's 20% more because you trust those reviews. Okay, so that's why reviews are super important. Also, speaking of reviews, when you have, so John, like you're trying to boost your rankings, right? So if there's a particular area you want to be ranking in and you have some customers in there, when you ask them for reviews, and we got to get better at this, but when you ask for reviews, ask them to put the town or the county that they're in, right? Because if they're typing in fence company near me and just say you want to rank for Miami, right? If they say, you know, such and such company did an awesome job at my house in Miami, stuff like that, it's going to end up it's like SEO for your for the review. So you're going to end up more likely to show up, and it would actually mention it here sometimes. So that's why it is important. Okay, nothing there. All right, so keep going. So anyway, so what I would personally do when you're doing this stuff, after you run your map, you'll see where you are. So like, and these are set up for every report. Let me see what these, I forget what I did. 4 miles, right? And there's a total of 11. So each of these is 4 miles and there's 11. So that's 44 miles away from each other, right? Which is huge. It's a big distance. Like me, I'm located here, and to get all the way to here, like it would legit take me like an hour. So this is not, it's not like it's just a small little map area That's what, again, that's what a lot of marketers will show as well. They'll be like, oh my God, like, look at this. We went from we went from non-existent to all these ones all around it. Well, yeah, no shit. Like, you literally put every one that's within like a tenth of a mile away from each other. So it looks like you did something great, but like all those reviews are like, I mean, the results are like in this one spot. So you got to look at how you do that. I would personally do it for 3, and it really, actually, it depends on your area. Like if you're in somewhere like Montana, where the areas are really spread out and the companies are going to have to travel far anyway because there's just not that population there, you might have to put every 5 miles. But down in Florida, like you're really populated, depending on how much you're trying to rank for, then you might have to do 3 miles, 2, or even 1 mile, if that makes sense. So once you see your results here, what I'm personally doing is I'm going and I'm attacking different areas, right? I keep on seeing this area, which is down in here, like the Sickler area. So what I've been focusing all my attention on is to get more, basically to bring this number down. I want to take this as much as I possibly can. And then once I get this into the green, then I'm going to go to the next. Now, there's no guarantee I can even get to here because there's a lot of ranking for Google now, especially for your location. But I can, like, if that was the only sole factor, like I wouldn't be a 3 down here. You know, that's probably like a 50-minute drive easily. So, and then how do we do that, right? There's quite a few different ways. So number one way, well, not number one. It's like anything else. It's like you have to put all these pieces of a puzzle together to really get the results that you're looking for. It's kind of like I've mentioned it quite a bit on the different videos. Chances are, if you're watching this, you've probably seen from YouTube, but if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, it's Local Pro Helper. There's a lot more in-depth stuff on there. But what you need is location pages. Okay. So basically you have a page that lists everything. So I have by counties, all the ones that we're working in, right? And I'm going through and doing all these, but basically anything in green means that I've done a page for it. So if you notice, it's still the landing page type setup. I don't want them to go anywhere else except for stay here, okay? So same thing, everything's about see my price. Now what you'll see here is I've uploaded a ridiculous amount of YouTube videos in the last few weeks. The reason for that is YouTube is owned by Google, okay? So Google loves Google. So anything that's related to Google, it's going to give it more credibility because it's the same company, right? And if you notice, so the other thing that you got to look at is make sure that your heading tags are set correctly. I've seen websites where they have heading 1 tags for everything, and that's a problem. So going into this is heading tags are basically, so it's parts of a book, right? A heading 1 tag is basically the title of the book, right? So can you imagine if you looked at a book and it had like 14 different titles, you'd be like, what the hell is this thing about, right? Well, Google's thinking the same thing if you have the wrong heading titles. So what the cycle is, basically you have a heading 1 tag up here, which tells you about what it is. So this is Evesham fence installation. Then I have this as a heading 2 tag, okay, just to get more credibility because we have more of that. I have this as a heading 2. Heading 2 is more of like a chapter. And then heading 3, there's headings up to like 6 or something like that. I only use typically 1 through 3, but basically heading 1 is the title of the book. Or in this case, it would be the title of the page that you're working on. Heading 2 would be like chapters, right? Chapters of a book. And that would be basically sections of a web page. And then heading 3 would be basically sections within that chapter, if that makes sense. And they all kind of work together. So basically everything, if you notice in here, everything's about Evesham, right? Evesham this, Evesham that. And these are all, this is a way to show up. If we save this image as, if you notice down here, aluminum fence installation in, I had the dash in there, crap. Anyway, but it should be Evesham, New Jersey, Deptford fence, right? Or I have it, some of them that are set up like aluminum fence installation in Evesham, New Jersey, installed by Deptford Fence Company. Like I've done stuff like that, right? And all this combined is giving more credence that this is this is what the customer actually is looking for, right? And same thing, if they click on that website and you get them to do something like as far as take actions or go to multiple pages, stuff like that, then Google's going to weigh that in your favor. Okay. Is there anything else? No. Okay. What else? So does that, for the people watching, does that make sense to you? Like so far what I'm going over, or is there something you need me to go over a little bit more in that part? And I know I talk fast. Sorry. It's just how I am. I'll just keep going while I'm waiting. So we have that. So yeah, what I would do is basically try to take over each individual area and go from there. Oh, now going back to the whole this, right? So if I type in as a customer, New Jersey. So this would be like if someone they were in Evesham and they typed in aluminum fence installation near me, that would basically be the same as me typing in aluminum installation in Evesham, New Jersey, right? I don't know if this is going to pop up. I didn't even search it yet, so we'll see what happens. Okay, here we go. So how cool is this, right? This is huge. So this isn't just Google My Business, John, but this is, it all makes sense. Do you think geotagging is working? Yes. Oh, 100%. So I didn't even include that in the thing. You got to remember everything. It's not going to be like this magic bullet for the geotagging, but everything is tied into that, right? And there's more stuff that you can do. That's really, really cool. Actually, what else am I doing? Downloads. Here. So there's even more stuff that you can do that no one ever talks about, right? So if we go into here, we go into properties. So what we're going to do, right, is first we want to make sure, oh, here's a good example of how I named this stuff. Aluminum, and you want to have these dashes in there, but aluminum dash fence installation dash in Medford, New Jersey, installed by Defford Fence Company, right? So that's what most people stop at, and then they could also geotag the images. John, I'm assuming, do you know how to geotag your stuff if you're not using like company cam and stuff? If you're not, I'll show you how to do that. But going forward, next thing you're going to go into is details, right? The reason why you want to go into details is you can shove even more stuff in here. So if you see here with the rating, you would just rate that as a 5-star. It's basically giving credibility to Google. And then you're talking about the offense, the title, the subject. You can do all this stuff. And then even cooler is you can put all these tags in there, right? The nice part with the tags is you don't even have to type them every single time. As you start typing them for the first time, like if we just type in fence, right? These are all the different ones that I've used for fence, like fence company near Cherry Hill, near Cinnamon, Clayton, like all this kind of stuff. It's just giving more credibility that that image is for people that are looking for a fence company in Medford, okay? The even cooler part is when you're doing all this stuff, if it's all the same pictures from like Marlton or whatever, to save yourself a ton of time is basically just click here and just say this whole row is all of them. You would hold the shift key and select them all. Then you would right click, you would rename, and you would rename this one to whatever you wanted to name it, and it'll rename all of them. Now, what it'll do is it'll have whatever you wanted to name it, and then each one will have like a, you know, in this little thing here, it'll have like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? After you do that, you would, you're done, right? No.
I'm having trouble here.
I don't know what the hell my phone or my watch is talking to me. So anyway, you would select them again, you would right click, and then you would go to properties and you would do the same thing. Now you would go in details. Why is that not showing up? Oh, maybe because I have 2 properties. Oh, there we go. So same thing, you would just highlight the ones that you want to do, and then you would put all the stuff in there. So you only have to do it once, and it'll save it to all of them to save yourself some time. Okay. Yes, I use this. I use. Oh, perfect. Oh, that's right. Okay, so you're fine. Okay, so you're good. So then you would just do the same thing. You would upload them, geotag them. That. Yeah, 100% want to do that, because if not, then it's not really giving credibility. Because now, if you look at this website, right? Oh, not this website. Don't look at this one. So according to Google, right, someone's searching in Evesham, okay? So now the title is Evesham, fence installation. So they're looking for a fence company. This is close enough. You could put fence company near you know, Evesham, New Jersey, but like you also got to think about the user, right? Like that just sounds kind of crazy. Like it should be like this instead, right? So the title of the book, basically, of the page is about Evesham. The chapter is about Evesham. The subchapter is about Evesham, right? And then when you go into this, now we have YouTube videos that are about Evesham, New Jersey. Like, because when you go to these, and these are actually set as iframes. So I got this from one of my buddies that we're actually teaming up with. That he has some AI technology that's even crazier, which I'm really excited about. But this all helps. So this is about Evesham. We come down here. We're talking about aluminum fence. Now we have an aluminum fence installation in the Evesham. We have pictures about Evesham, and then about fence installations in Evesham, right? Frustrated by Evesham contractors, right? We come down here. This is one of my favorite things by far. Oh, we have a wide deferred fence. And you can actually set up these iframes to stay as their titles as well. I'll just go in here real quick, since the other person was saying about they're on Elementor. Oh, John, do you mess with your site? Or do you have someone that does that at this point? If you do mess with your site, I'm assuming it's probably WordPress. Oh, you're the other person. You're on. Wait, no, you said Elementor. Yeah, so this will all work for you too. Going back to this. Wait, did I edit? Oh, okay, we're in here. So what you can do, these are iframes. Oh wait, no, this is an older one. I didn't set this up with an iframe. Go down here. These are iframes. So what you can do on top of this is when you're using iframes, instead of just using YouTube, then you can actually put a title as Fence Company near Evesham, New Jersey as well. So everything is literally tagged like Fence Company, Fence Installation, Fence whatever, Evesham, right? It's just putting all this credibility. Now, this is one of my favorite things here by far. So this is going to build credibility in a few ways. One, it's going to help you rank with Google because you're putting all the different spots. And I've shown this on another YouTube video. So if you haven't seen it, just type in My Maps and it'll show up. But it shows it too far. I haven't used Thrive yet, or I haven't looked into them. I've seen some of their ads and stuff. I haven't looked into them, so I can't even tell you if they're good or not. But anyway, so this is really cool. So look at Google My Maps. There's a video I made on it. It's very simple. You basically download your addresses and stuff, and then you basically upload it into this. It's pretty quick and easy. And but the nice part is like you're trying to build trust to the customer, right? And this will help with Google rankings as well. But like this looks pretty impressive, right? Like we're looking, it's like, holy shit, they did all these installations, right? They must know what the hell they're doing, right? Well, it's for that. And like I said, it also is for, when I click on this, vinyl fence installation, and then it's Sicklerville. So now when people are searching for a vinyl fence installation in Sicklerville, well, this maps is pertinent to them because it's vinyl fence installation in Sicklerville. And there's a lot of them. And then what they can start doing, and what I'm actually going to break this thing down to when I get a chance, is basically make all different Google My Maps for each individual town, or actually I'll probably just do by county. So that way, if I do a page that's for Gloucester County, well, it's going to show Gloucester County, and they're going to see all the people in Gloucester County, right? And then they can actually zoom in and like imagine if they're in this neighborhood and they're over here and they're like, holy shit, like they're on these 3 or these 4 houses, right? It's huge. Like this is absolutely huge. And you come over here, it's like, holy shit, like they've done. And I'm actually surprised. I'm like, because I always pass houses. I'm like, who the hell did you use, right? But now I'm looking, I'm like, just on this one street alone, we have, we have 6 people here, and then we got someone down here, and actually there's even more, right? It's pretty crazy when you start thinking about this stuff, right? So it's just building more credibility, and again, it will help your rankings out as well. When I originally did it, these blue ones, I just had work performed and this. So I have to go and update this, but it was from my old CRM system, and it's a pain in the ass to get the information. But this helps. So anyway, if you have this, we have about aluminum fence installation. We have vinyl. There's cedar in there somewhere. We don't do much cedar, but this will all help you. And then you can see the blue lines here. Basically, what you want to do is set up directions. And there, I don't think I did that for the video, but that helps as well. I mostly, they suck. Thrive sucks. Everyone sucks, to be honest with you. I've tried, me personally, I've went through Because like this is all I've ever done, right? I'm not a fence guy at all. Like if you don't know my story, it's real quick, but like um, I was working for my uncle at one of his McDonald's. At this point, they have like 16, like ultra wealthy, obviously. And tornado came through, fence post broke. I was broke. I called the fence company. They said it was 4 to 6 weeks, $400 to come out. I said, can I do it instead? Again, because I was broke, figured it out. And here we are 5, 6 years later. So I'm more of like advertising, online marketing, like that kind of thing. That's what I spent most of my time on at this point. I've tried 4 or 5 different companies at this point. No one does what they're supposed to do. No one, except for the buddy that I'm working with now. He's the only one. And he was doing my Facebook ads, but I don't use it anymore just because I have too many leads coming in. But anyway, they're no one's good. It's just because, and I shouldn't say no one, but the vast majority are not good. Whether you're using Thrive, that is this global company. I've used global companies as well. I try. I've tried mom and pop shops. But like I said, you got to be careful with the mom and pop people, not even mom and pops, but these younger people that seem like they know what they're doing. Like you're in the fence industry. Were you around for, is it Sean Andreessen? It's not Sean. Scott Andreessen. He was that was a big fiasco. He got some people to use them, and then he basically just left. And now I see his ads. He's trying to promote, help other people become marketers like him, and he's just shady as shit. But anyway, nowadays it's really tough. You have to be really careful with the whole marketers because again, they're buying a like $300 course or they're watching some YouTube videos. They might even watch my YouTube videos, and like then they're just going to sell the service. Like they're all like, oh, it's not that hard. No, like at the end of the day, you could get most. Yeah, he was a mess, and now I keep on seeing his images. But you have to be careful because, like, again, it's so easy to get into. It's kind of like how easy fencing is to get into. Like, I literally started a fence company with like 30, like, I had like the power drill and shit like that. But like a post hole digger and a digging bar, actually, a digging bar, my funny story, my father in law had a digging bar because he actually stole it from another fence company that's the one of the big ones in my area because they did such a shitty job and they didn't finish something. So like 30 years before, he stole their digging bar just for the hell of it. And that was my first digging bar. But yeah, I think I spent like $30 on a post hole digger, and like that's how I started my fence company. So the same way that we can start super like with no experience, no money, no nothing, these guys can do it too. So that's where you got to be careful. Going back, so we have that. These are huge, John. So I don't know if you do this stuff on your website. These are like the most common questions that people ask. And I don't know if you have a YouTube channel, something like that. Obviously, I'm comfortable with it at this point. But before I didn't. Like I knew I sucked, but I would just keep on doing it. And these are really helpful. Like people watch these things all the time, and it's the stuff that they always have a question about. Like, do they need a fence permit? Do vinyl posts need inserts? The vinyl color options? What's the wait time? What kind of pull fence? And what should you know about aluminum fences? So those are the most common. So they basically click on them and they can watch them, right? Recent installations. Oh, what else did I forget to show you in here? This one might not have had a... this might have been before. Let me go into this. And all this stuff, you got to think about your customers. Like that's the number one thing is, let me see if I can go into, I don't know if this has it. Some of them, I couldn't find the information. Fence installation. Oh, here you go. Do you need a fence permit in Medford, right? So what I actually did is like went and found everything because we don't handle the fence permits. It seems like, John, do you guys handle the fence permits down there? I know quite a few buddies from down in Florida, and most of them handle the permits. Up here, no one handles them. Something we might get into, but like right now, like we just don't have a solid staff to handle that. But anyway, like you're trying to make their life easier. So they have the information here. And because you're actually having your page linked to a Medford webpage, that helps you show up as well. Okay. So it's all different things. And then we have how much is the fence permit, that kind of thing. Because actually I'm trying to show up, if you notice. Sometimes. Oh wait, no wait, I can't believe how much. Oh, I got so excited. I thought it was me. How much is this earning per month? How much? Yeah, I'm not in here. Okay. But anyway, I'm trying to get onto this, so I'm working on that. Yes, we do it all. Oh, you do it all. Yeah, it's down in Florida. It's weird how everyone does it. It's something that we should probably get into at some point because we do charge more than everyone else. It's just, like I said, I have to get the staff involved. Actually, we got 2 really good people that should make a huge difference. Like this last year we did 2 million. This year my goal is 4. And I think we can easily hit it just from our improving our sales process. What else? So we got all that. I think we exhausted all that. So the location pages, the YouTube videos, like I said, those are huge just because, like I said, when people are searching for that crap, and I have it for pretty much everything. And the funny part, not the funny part, the amazing part is it will, like your YouTube videos, when you do that kind of stuff, they will actually rank quicker on Google than anything else will. You could do like the location pages, everything else, right? And I'm not going to show up half as quick as I would for like fence installation, that kind of thing. I don't know if anything shows up in here. And no, nothing shows up in here. Let's try Cedar. Okay, so here you go. So here's another one of our videos. So same thing. If someone's typing that, I don't know if it's going to show up for everything. Oh, so same thing. So now they're looking for a cedar fence company, and we're showing up because of that, right? So we're at the top of the list here. Now, I don't know, like I am searching for Defford, so I don't know if that's going to show up. But you're going to see here for the services. Actually, we'll go through that next. So we have that for Barisso's Gate Show. I don't even know who the hell that is. I don't know. Anyway, but the cool thing is, like when you're doing this stuff, you're going to show up in the search results. I know you're trying to get for Google My Business, but this is important. Like people are going to look at this shit, right? So it's important. And then for the YouTube videos, like there's a way, like anything else, there's a way to do everything, right? So what we have here is basically the, and I could have done a better job with this, but basically we're putting, obviously you're going to have the information in here, like what you want to rank for. The first line or first thing that you're talking about, that's the stuff you want to rank for. And I pretty much have it the same thing. Like it'll say like nice little cedar fence, nice little vinyl fence. Like that I could change, but I've uploaded so many, I couldn't be bothered. And then the second line's more the same thing, Haddonfield, right? Now I will switch this over because I was starting to build the landing pages. So now this would be deffordfence.com/. And this is actually, should double check this shit. Like I just noticed like I spelled that wrong, right? So this would be deffordfence.com/landing page. But then we'll also have the location pages. We'll change it to that. And that's basically just giving more credibility that it says Haddonfield and it's going to that particular website. So we have that. And then this is just information. And then this is, copied everything from the Google My Business listing, right? So your exact name, address, phone number, if you have an address, you put that in there. The website you want to have in there, the hours of operations, you put literally everything the same exact way as you would for your Google My Business listing. Now this link is going to Google My Business. Cancel. So if you go to view on maps, wait for this to finish loading, you'll notice it changes. So then we take this information, I would copy this, I would put that into YouTube as well. Fence install, same thing, financing, and I have all that kind of crap. So anyway, that helps. It's huge. So what else? We have to, if not, no one would go with us. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. It's we probably should at this point. Like I said, we got these 2 really good staff in right now. Actually, we have 1.5. She's like part-time. I'm trying to get it to come over completely. but that's a whole nother story. What else? So we got all that. YouTube. Honestly, YouTube, if you're trying to rank as quickly as possible, like I said, I put this on January 18th, so it's literally 8 days ago, and it's already there. Honestly, I've had stuff where I posted it 5 minutes later, it's showing up. So if you're trying to rank, this is the way to not this, but this is the way to do it. There's different there's like apps for everything at this point. For making the videos, I personally use Filmora. I'm used to it at this point. One, I like it because it's downloaded onto my computer, so I'm not paying a monthly fee for the thing, because everything's monthly at this point. This, I forget. I might have paid $100, but I've had it for like 2 or 3 years at this point. But the videos aren't anything crazy. John, are you using Company Cam? I don't know if I asked that or not. And then while you're doing that, I'll show you some other stuff. But basically, we're taking all the Company Cam images. This one's not the best example because there's nothing really here. Let me go into YouTube. I don't know if this one has. Is this going to scroll? So we basically, let me turn the volume down. It's nothing crazy that we do. We basically have before and after pictures. And the way I do it, and I'll probably change it, but basically the before picture is not any motion. The after picture has the motion. And then it'll go to this. Same thing. It just stays still. Then goes to this. It just looks nice, right? It's got some music behind it. So we have that. And I basically create 2 videos, right? I do the before and after pictures as one video, and it's only like 26 seconds long. And you'll see this in there. This is the one I didn't delete anything. So that's why it's showing all this. That's a bad example. But what I have is the video walkthrough afterwards. Or actually, I'll do that. So I'll have the before and after photos, just as one thing. And then you want to make sure you have this at the end, which is the same information. You want your name, address, phone number. So marketers always talk about MAPs. So name, address, phone number. So you want to have that at the end as well. So I would do that as one video. And then we have the walkthrough video. Should I? I don't. Yes. At this point, I think so, personally. Company Cam is really good. It's simple to use, but actually we're going to be getting rid of it soon, just because we upload our videos, like the people, like when we do the on-site consults, then they need to do a video, and basically the office needs to watch the video before they can do the quote. And sometimes the videos take forever to upload, like 4 and 5 hours to get uploaded, unless they're not that bad if you're connected to Wi-Fi, but he's obviously not connected to Wi-Fi, so it takes forever. The thing that makes it easy is with Company Cam, like we're going to have Company Cam built in. It's not going to be Company Cam, but I'm having basically a knockoff version. It's doing the same thing, but it's going into my program. So we keep everything in-house. But the nice part, the way we use it, and we're going to be tweaking some more things. Oh, wait, that was a repair. We didn't do that job. This one I went, do we have before and afters? Okay. So the thing that helps, right, is we have, these are all the after photos, and then we have all the before photos here. The thing that's really cool is that it allows you to take the picture in the same spot. That's where you saw like all my stuff is, when you look at this stuff, it's in the same exact spot. So we go from here, and if you notice, it's in this pretty much the same spot, right? So it basically has a little, not hologram, but it has, when you take the after picture, it shows the before, but it only shows like 10% of it. And then, so you can take the after, so it's right in the same spot. There's another app on, I have iPhone, but there's a before and after slider app that's pretty cool. I don't know where the hell it is, if I remember. I don't know where the hell it is. I think it's like BA. Oh yeah, photo compare. So you basically put them in there, and it has like a little slider, and it goes back and forth, which is pretty cool. But anyway, it has all the information there, and at least then you can save it. You can also give access to the homeowners as well. I do like it just because it keeps everything neat and tidy. And at the end of the day, it's really simple to use. And basically, if you're trying, are you, like, I haven't talked to you yet. Are you, like, do you have crews working for you? You're doing almost everything yourself at this point. Because basically, the easier you make it, the more likely they're actually going to use it. Obviously, they should use it if you're paying them, but like, you know how it is. So since it's easy, everyone uses it. We also use it to upload our checklist. So then like the crews will go in, like we have a final inspection checklist. We're about to get the installers on there. But we have that, and then we have a pre-installation checklist, right? Or a consultation checklist. So now we can put all the information as far as like what kind of fence, how do they want it, if there's any hard holes, if they want it flat to the ground or straight at the top, if there's any concerns like small animals, lawn service. Reason why we have lawn service in there is because like the gates have to be at least, if there's a lawn service, they should be 5 foot wide gates somewhere. Okay with fence sign, so they know whether or not we can put a fence sign up there. Removal, if there is a removal, we put in that stuff so we know how to calculate everything, all that kind of stuff, right? And then at least then the crew can look at it and then know what the hell's going on. So that's helpful. And then for either you or whoever's going to be posted on YouTube or social media or whatever else, you just basically give them access to stuff, and then they just go through and do the before and afters. Like, it's super simple. So subs only show subs. Okay. What are you doing? I mean, so you're not doing the installations, but as far as the office side of things, are you, I guess we can talk more about that tomorrow, because I only got like 10 minutes left. But if you're handing it off to someone else, or if you don't want to take the time, because honestly, I'm about to hire a social media person, is or just at like a temp, or actually the person that I hired, they can probably do it. But you can basically just give them access and make it easy to just basically post everything. If you want to post a bunch of crap all at once, there's all different kinds of places, but Hero Post is, there's other ones that do the same thing, but because they're a newer company, let me see if they're still offering. Okay, they're doing a one-time deal. So like everything else, I forget the company. I was using them, but it was like $50 a month, right? Or you can pay $197 for a one-time fee. There's some kind of glitches here and there, but it actually, I've had it for about 3 months, but it works better now than it did before. Like, they're constantly making upgrades. Basically what they're doing is they're probably going to go to a per month fee at some point, but they basically need to bring people in to pay for all their upgrades and crap that they're doing. And basically get test user, beta users, like that kind of thing. So that, yes, that's all me and my office girl. Nice. Okay. So yeah, if you're using, you can use this to basically schedule everything. This is what I personally use. And it helps, because then, and the cool part is, I'll tell you, some stuff failed. Actually, there's only one failed. But the nice thing with this is, because sometimes you don't have all the pictures that you want to have, right? You would go to add post, and like this actually runs halfway quick. Before it would take forever. The bad part is, like, you can only upload photos or videos, and honestly the videos take forever, even though I'm like directly tied into my internet. Like, I'm not on Wi-Fi or anything. But the nice thing is, you would put your photos, you would upload your photos. Oops. You would take them. Oops, why did you go back there? So they would be in there. And then you can actually upload your post. So if you go to captions, you can save your stuff. Of course, it's going to be slow now. This is the only downfall for this thing. Sometimes it's slow. It might also be the time of day. I'm not going to wait for it. Anyway, when you go to schedule, you can schedule it for certain times, right? Because like, you don't want to like just do one after. You don't want to just do one at a time. You know, do one today, one tomorrow, and one the next day. You want to get as many as you can, like doing on a weekly basis. Just spend an hour and knock everything all at once. And basically, you would schedule it. But the nice thing is, it'll actually repost for you, right? So I have it set for every 60 days because I just don't want to have people looking at the same thing. But you can schedule how long you want to do that for. For me, I set everything for 2 years. So basically, I do that one post, and it's posting every 60 days for 2 years, which is pretty cool. So by the time at the end, like, there's going to be so many photos and everything uploaded. So that'll be kind of helpful. Yeah, it's just slow. So you go to schedule. Oh, here you go. So here's the post. So this is where you change it to wherever you want to post it, right? And then here is your post frequency, how many days. So I just go to 60, repost until. I would just click there, backspace, hit 4, hit done, and then post that sucker. And then it'll just go every 60 days, which is pretty cool. I'm trying to think what else. So we got that. We got that. I'm trying to think what else I can show you. John, I got like 10 minutes. Anything else you want me to show you? That's a bulk majority. Like if you do that, those items, that'll get you most of the way there. Trying to think what else. So yeah, citations. Oh, so if you haven't done citations yet, I'll go into there. You would do Citation Builder. And then basically you can pay for the credits. You can buy them in bulk ahead of time. If not, like it's only, like I would personally do either 50 or 75. So it's going to cost you $3 per. You do it once and then you're done, right? And this is important if you're not showing up really anywhere. Some of the things aren't all automatic. Like there's some that you're going to have to like do phone calls and stuff like that. But then basically what you would do is you would confirm and continue. I'm not going to go through it, actually. Let me see if it'll do it. I hope they don't charge me. So you're going to put in all your information here, okay? And you should already have your information correct in the system, but like you would just put all your stuff in here, what you want it to be listed for, contact information, the category. I don't know why this shows up as general contractor, but anyway. Your hours of operation, like what kind of things you collect, your company logo, location photos. Like this would be if you have a location, like literally taking photos of the location. And this information you get from like Google Maps, just take the screenshots from there. You put in profile links, all that kind of stuff. Campaign notes, this is for them. I don't really do anything. You just put like NA. What email address you want all this stuff to go through. You would buy your credits. And then basically confirm and pay. And then what will happen is they'll go through and they'll get all that stuff for you. And then, so between all that, like really that's most of what you need to do. Where the hell am I? There we go. Last thing is post. Photos too. So this is important to look at, right? So here's the photo quantity, right? I have 342 photos, the average, and 32 customer photos, right? The average other people has only 20, right? Now here's that really, really crazy part here. Look at this. So in the last month, 13,000 people have looked at my photos. Other businesses, only 1,000. So it's 13 times more people looking at my stuff, right? If we go to the quarter, like look at these numbers, 41,000 people compared to 3,700. Or not people, I'm sorry. This is number of photo views, but still, this is going to give your people, remember, everything is about, it's really, if you think at the end of the day, like what's going to make your customer's experience better, that's going to help you rank more. Is what it comes down to. But look at this, like 999% more views. It's crazy, right? So that you want to constantly be posting in there. Post. This is the other thing. Let me make sure. Okay, so we're good. Wait, go back in here. So what I do is after I post the stuff on YouTube, like I pretty much do the same thing over and over. I basically download. So my process is basically downloading everything from Company Cam, right? So once I download all that stuff, let's say for here. So I would basically click, download, click, download, click, download. So, well, you get the idea. I would download everything. I download all these. I would download the video. I download all the before stuff. I wish you took more before photos. But anyway, so do that. Go into here. Go into downloads. Here's all them. I would basically hit this, right click wherever this town is located, hit rename. And then the reason why you see me do capital for the first letter is because when you upload a video, as long as the files, like whatever the file is called when you make the video, if it's in capitals, then it's going to show up on your as your title that way. If not, then you're going to have to retype your title. So I might as well just do it once, right? So I just do vinyl, or, well, vinyl fence installation in Evesham, New Jersey, installed by Defford Fence Company. After I would take all that information, then I would basically, and then do the whole thing. See how all of them change to be 1 through 5. So then I would go into properties, then go to details, and then I would fill all this crap out, right? And then I would apply it and I hit OK. After I did that, then I would go into here. I would basically take the same information. I leave the same song. I leave this here. You go into media, just pretend these are the ones that I did. I would throw these in here. One's a photo or one's a video. Doesn't really matter. But you have these. If you end up using Filmora. So then basically what you do is you right click on it, hit crop and zoom. Now, again, I only do this for the after photos, but I would pan and zoom, and then you get this. Oh, and then normally I would just do that, get to there. And then the reason for that is it'll actually zoom in the way you want it. Hit OK. Do the same thing to the next one. Pan and zoom, double click. Get that there. Okay, done. Transition. There's two that I use. I use Dissolve and Flash for most of them, and I'm not some designer, but it just works. Basically, the Dissolve, so say I had before and after photos. So say this was the before, this was the after photo. Then I would put the Flash in there. And the reason for that is so that way when it's done, it's running slow, it'll have that Flash in there, right? Whereas if it was a oh my God, come on. Okay. There we go. So pretend like this one was the, this was a before, this was an after, okay? So then what I would do is just put this Dissolve in here. So it's always like the same process over and over again. So then I would export this thing. Before I would export it, I would actually go into, well, what you can do is you would go into here, because you already have this named as what it's supposed to be, right? So then I would just click on one of these. I would hit rename. I would hit Control-C to copy it. Then I would go in and sometimes it won't let you do this, but I would throw it in here. Then I would export it. Then I would take that, upload it into YouTube. Then I would take it and then upload it into Google My Business. So Google My Business, long story short, going into here, for some reason, not all the, here's a nice, why is this saying 5 hours ago? That's weird. Huh. I didn't do any of this. Here's a better example. I don't know what happened with those because all those I uploaded 5 days ago. It might have just, there must have been some kind of error. But anyway, it's kind of like the same thing about aluminum fence insulation in Mullica Hill. You're trying to get the, whatever you're trying to rank for, the aluminum fence in Mullica Hill, the town. Same thing. If you're looking for a fence in Mullica Hill or surrounding South Jersey area, like this is what people search for as well, like South Jersey fence. Sending them to the web page. This is the location page of the Google business listing. So you're just putting all that. It just helps. And then they have more information. So not a lot of people look at this stuff. Like you can see here, like I posted this 5 days ago, there was only 7 views. So not as many people are looking at this, but this is really good for SEO. And then, so what I would do, like going back to the whole bright logo thing. Let me go my neck. So knowing I want to rank for like Sicklerville, right? So then I would concentrate all my effort. Like I would start uploading all the videos and everything else, and then constantly be posting stuff about Sicklerville. So I'll post a few more. I have to go back and post some more because the other thing is like these are only good for 7 days, right? So what I would do is I would find more posts for Sicklerville, or I would, even if I posted something about Sicklerville, once that expires, I would just go in and make another post about Sicklerville. Basically keywording everything to make sure I show up for Sicklerville. And you do that often enough, you'll eventually start showing up more often. Not even just in the Google My Business, but you'll show up in the Google SEO as well. And it just gives a good example. But again, like this was Or this one was 7 views. But if you go into the photos, this is where it's really important. Like, look at the number of views. Like, it gets crazy. So this one, same thing, 5 days. This only had 5 views, but this had 31. And it's weird when you start seeing stuff. So 6, 6, 4. So these aren't even that high, but there's some. If you see it, like most of the stuff I posted in the past week, 22. 6. I've had some. Like, well, these are 2018, 2019. But you can see here, like a year ago, 1,400 people, 2,800 people, that kind of thing. So it does help people look at it, because at the end of the day, like, they want to kind of get an idea of like what their fence is going to look like. 15 weeks ago, we have 827 people. And this is someone that actually uploaded that we did work for. So what else? Yeah. So I think at this point, I probably, like, at this point, I'll have to figure out how to upload this, or actually it should save, I think. But go through this, or you have the SEO person do, or your office person, if they're going to do it, if you're looking to do that in-house. But if you do all of that stuff, that's basically going to get you like at least 80% of the way there. The only part that you're going to have issues with is because you're not directly doing your web page. That's the part that's kind of not hurt you, but it's you're not going to get all the results that you could, because it's, again, everything. It's these little pieces that, it just adds up, and it's kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back kind of thing. Like, it's not any one thing. It's just everything combined that's going to give you the results that you need. So anyway, hope you liked it. I did try getting the Zoom hooked up, but I was running out of time and it was stressing me out. And then I hit the wrong link, so that's why I started later. But yeah, looking forward to talking tomorrow. And then if you have any questions between now and then, just text me, or nothing, send a message or whatever, and then we'll cover the rest of that tomorrow. Or if this covered everything, just let me know. So anyway, have a good night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. I don't even know how to end this thing. Oh, there we go. All right, I'll see you.